Hey, what is going on everyone? Sunny Decre here. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin mining, cloud mining specifically, what's happening with all the different cloud mining services. But before that, I want to have one bullish news a day at least. When I predicted Bitcoin at 500,000 US dollars by the end of 2020, it used the model that predicted $5,000 at the end of 2017. Bitcoin has accelerated much faster than my model assumptions. I now predict Bitcoin at 1 million by the end of 2020. I will still eat my dick if wrong. Bitcoin only has to be at a level of roughly 7,000 US dollars right now to still be correct with that statement. Hopefully that cheered you up a little bit, but right now let's talk about cloud mining and why the profitability is as low as it is right now. Well, in this video, I don't want to repeat all of the basics. You guys probably know by now that every 2016 block, which is approximately 2 weeks, Bitcoin or the Bitcoin network does a difficulty adjustment. What does that mean? The more hash power there is coming into the network, which happened a lot obviously lately. I mean, these pools over here, those are the biggest mining pool on the planet. They were getting bigger and bigger. I mean, it's completely crazy. I mean, here BTC.com only with 6.3 exahashes. That's 6,300 petahashes. That is completely insane. If you think about that, for example, my biggest cloud mining contract is over here at Genesis Mining, where I currently have 336, not exahashes, not petahashes, just terahashes. This is what it is right now. With pretty much every difficulty adjustment lately, we see that the difficulty just got up by a lot. And responsible for that, as I said, is the amount of hash power that came in lately. Obviously, that means that if you, for example, have just 1 terahash at Hashflare, for example, that obviously means that every time the difficulty adjustment hits, your hash power, your 1 terahash, is worth less than it was before if it comes down to the Bitcoin payouts, right? Because from a percentage point of view, your part with that 1 terahash is less off the whole cake. And nothing changes. There is still the block reward of 12.5 Bitcoin until the year 2020. Then it will get halved again to 6.25. And obviously the fees as well are included in those blocks. Well, the problem with that is that the fees are as low as almost never seen before. So the miners are not really getting a lot of an extra reward out of these blocks than just the 12.5 Bitcoin currently per block. Now, what does that mean for our cloud mining contracts? Well, I would say I'm going to start here with Genesis to give you guys a feedback. Obviously, since my 300 extra terahashes kicked in from the last pre-sale, I mean, this is still crazy, right? I mean, I'm still getting over $100 every single day. I can show you that in my Exodus wallet in here real quick. Those over here are pretty much the daily payments right now from my Genesis mining contract. $142 in here, $147 in here. But obviously, if we have a look at the US dollar amount, that really depends on how high the price of Bitcoin currently is. We basically suffered from two things: the price of Bitcoin coming down by a lot and the difficulty kept increasing. And this is something where my prediction was wrong. What I personally thought is that as soon as we're going through a little bit of a longer bear market, the bigger investors will not just keep producing these hardware, right? I mean, if you think about that, the price of Bitcoin really doesn't look that great, but hardware is getting pushed. Every single day, new hardware is getting manufactured, mainly by Bitmain, but just recently Samsung announced that they will also produce ASIC chips. The negative is that we as miners, we as the small little miners who are not manufacturing our own hardware, doesn't matter if we mine at home or with cloud mining, we just see that we are getting less, okay? So the profitability definitely went down. But on the positive side, you could say, hey, wait a second. There are big investors. Bitmain, for example, that's a billion company already, and they are keep pushing these miners, right? Why would they do that? They do it because they really believe in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, but that's a topic for another day. You kind of can see this as a negative or also a positive sign in here. The positive, definitely that bigger investors are still interested. They believe in the technology, and that's the reason why they keep manufacturing Bitcoin mining hardware. So as I already said, at Genesis Mining, currently 336 terahashes, that's 336,000 gigahashes. I just calculated the profitability for that real quick. The pool fees right now, well, those are not really the pool fees from the mining pools, but on cloud miners, you have to pay per terahash, okay? Per day, per terahash, you have to pay a fixed amount of US dollars. That's the maintenance fee. And obviously, when the profitability is getting less, well, that fee will be the same, right? So in percentages, the fee goes up. That's pretty accurate right now. I would say at Genesis Mining, we're currently at a 40% fee right now. You can see that's pretty close to what I'm currently earning. Maybe the fee is even a little bit less right now. So yeah, with 336,000 gigahashes, my break-even point would be in 486 days. Let's say 490 days in here. And back in the days, a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago, that profitability or that break-even point was at around 180 days. The lowest I have ever seen was even below 100 days. But you can see right now, there are good times and there are bad times. I mean, the good times are when everything is just mooning and the hardware manufacturer are not fast enough with manufacturing, with producing that hardware. You still have your hash power. Bitcoin is mooning completely, but the difficulty is not getting adjusted as fast as the price of Bitcoin is going up. What we see right now is that from the last bull run, we have a lot of new manufacturers, or we just have a lot of manufacturing, a lot of production of these miners. And right now that hash power is getting installed. We see more and more, but the price of Bitcoin went down. And that's where we are right now. So yeah, of course, right now, this doesn't look that great, but overall, I'm actually still happy because this is one of my only income streams right now in Bitcoin. For those people who are still interested, I'm just gonna go over my top 4, the ones that I'm basically supporting and I'm invested in. Alright, so number 1, we still have Genesis Mining. The problem with Genesis Mining is that you cannot really buy anything right now, and I wouldn't even if you could, because they don't offer Bitcoin. The last thing they offered was altcoin mining, and with altcoin mining, it's even worse than it is with Bitcoin mining right now, because you guys know the altcoin market is suffering actually a little bit more during those rough times than the actual Bitcoin. That's the reason why the Bitcoin dominance went up again. Then we have CCG mining. This is my newest one. You're getting your payments only once a month, which happened around the 20th of the month, I think, last month. You can see the profitability in here already, break even after 530 days. So this is actually not that worse than Genesis Mining, and those contracts are also open-ended. What does open-ended mean? As long as it's profitable. So if Bitcoin would fall more and the maintenance fee would be higher than the actual payout, the actual reward, what would happen is on CCG mining and Genesis mining, the contracts would still be running for 60 days. And after that, if they not come back being profitable, they would actually just disappear and you would sit on a complete loss of your investment. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. Me personally, I don't have Bitcoin mining at CCG mining because I already have a ton over at Genesis mining. Also open-ended contracts. I have a little bit of Zcash mining in here and also Litecoin, but you can see already that the profitability calculator in here tells you pretty much that those are even worse investments than Bitcoin, and they're not open-ended, but the Bitcoin is. So if I would go for an investment on CCG mining right now, it would only be Bitcoin mining. There is not really that much to say about Hashflare. Currently, the maintenance fee in here is getting closer to 50%, which is completely crazy. So I'm only getting in US dollars, I would say something around $70 right now over here, which is really not that much for 175 terahashes. The good thing about Hashflare is they are offering discounts and so on. There's discount code over here, so for those people who are interested, you guys can use that. What I have to say about Hashflare is that the contracts are only running for 1 year. So if you still want to invest a little bit something of your portfolio into cloud mining, right now what I would recommend is CCG mining, because Genesis mining is sold out. Hashflare, the contracts are only 1 year. They're probably, well, they're actually way cheaper, I think, than on CCG mining. But as I said, I mean, I'd rather have an open-ended contract. I mean, think about that, guys. If Bitcoin is going to moon again completely, if it goes 2x, 3x, 4x, then it looks pretty good pretty fast again. You just have to think about that. I mean, we haven't seen it in the last bull run. It was completely crazy how profitable this actually was. And now we're going through a rough time. And I'm pretty sure that Bitcoin will come back, and then obviously the profitability will come back as well. But it's your decision. All right, now the reason why I do not recommend the Bitclub network anymore in here is actually quite simple. I have a couple of reasons. I want to start with the most important one. They basically changed the Bitcoin payments to Bitcoin Cash payments. So if you're new, you can only buy the Bitcoin mining shares or also the GPU, the altcoin mining shares with Bitcoin Cash. The reason for that was the high network fee on Bitcoin. It was pretty much impossible to still allow people to pay with Bitcoin because they had to pay $25 as a fee for a $100 membership, for example. The transition to Bitcoin Cash was okay for me, but the transition back right now, because the mempool is completely empty right now, so the fees are really not that high anymore. I mean, as I said already, the fee are on an pretty much all-time low right now. They could definitely have gone back to Bitcoin. They didn't. I still think that there is something fishy going on with Bitmain, but the worst thing about Bitclub network is that they're promising us new hash power, so the shareholders are finally getting higher payouts again since pretty much forever. And if we check that over here, they're still somewhere around 450 petahashes. So if they're always behind and they can never really come up with the payments that they should, then I don't really like what I see in here. So right now, this is actually the first time where I really say it out loud. I'm disappointed about the Bitclub network. Also, they were promising that there will be a new homepage. I still don't believe that they're a scam. I mean, they're around since 2014. Anyway, guys, this is it already. I hope this was good enough for a little update so you know what's going on. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.